How's it going today? It's your man Cham, and today we are at round 10 of the ASR PS4 F2 Championship in Monza. Now, because of lag issues and host issues, we ended up having to do one-shot qualifying instead of a normal 15-minute session because it was 20 past 8. We were going to miss the F1 if we didn't get our pace on, and so we took the decision to just do a one-shot qualifying. However, with that being said, it did end up very well for me. I ended up in P6 in front of two of the championship contenders, which was amazing. I could not have asked for a better qualifying out of it. But, yeah, let's see how the race goes. Alright, and so here we are on the starting grid. We've got 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And away we go. We are in P6. We've made an alright getaway, but Styling behind us has made an even better getaway, as has Niblo. But with that being said, we've got a quicker getaway than the Ferraris in front of us, so we're going to have a look but back out eventually because, you know, we don't want damage on the first lap. That's not a good idea. But luckily, we've got the inside line, so we're able to get ahead of Mozza for 5th place, which is all looking very rosy for us. But then he decided to ruin the fun and get straight back through us because of better traction off the exit. Although with that being said, we weren't here to play second fiddle to anyone, so we've got a run on Mozza. We're going to have a look around the inside and make the move into the third corner. So we've made the move, given him some space, we've taken the inside, but unfortunately he was lagging, so he's accidentally pushed me off. I was in a party chat with him, he was not aware that he pushed me off. He apologised pretty quickly about it, so he's a good bloke. Anyway, if you want to subscribe to him and see his point of view, I'll leave his link in the description. Although with that being said, it kind of just sped up the process of the two McLarens getting ahead of me. The guys in front of me just happen to be two of the three fastest drivers on the grid, Stalin and Niblo. Stalin's in second place in the championship, and Niblo in front of me, won his debut last time out in Belgium. In spite of that though, this is Monza and anything can happen, so with Mozza in front holding them up, we could well get a run. We'll have to see. Okay, so we didn't get a run into the Parabolica, but whilst our guy BKXI was finding the wall, the three in front of me were having a battle of their own for 5th place, and it was pretty competitive. Mozza is trying to defend for all his worth against Stylin, who's obviously quicker. Niblo is trying to get involved, and, well, something eventually had to give, and by the time we got to the second sector, Stylin had made the move on Mozza, and he was through for 5th place. And then things got even more interesting, because Mozza ran wide, he had to slow down, and then Niblo managed to get straight past him as well. And so here we were, still in P8, but now we had a chance to overtake Mozza in 7th. We were looking a lot better than him at this point. He was struggling for grip, but with super soft tyres like ours, we could well have the same problems soon. But anyway, he's run right off the exit of Ascari. We're on the outside of the corner. We've got a much better straight line speed than him, but he also had the inside line and he started to make a run on me. So he was able to throw it down the inside and take the place back pretty quickly, which meant that I had to spend another straight behind him and hoping that we can get a run into the first corner here. So no DRS obviously because it's not the third lap yet by the time we get to the detection point, but we also have this thing called dive bombing. So we've gone up his inside, but unfortunately we weren't close enough to go for the dive bomb, so we put the brakes on and hopefully we can get a good run. But then out of nowhere came the safety car, which meant that a lot of drivers, including myself and Mozza, headed to the pits to get rid of their super soft tyres on lap 3. Personally, I decided to put some medium tyres on, while others decided to make the decision to put soft tyres on. Personally, I saw a better value in putting the mediums on because you'd be able to get further in the race on them, but unfortunately that was all if I had good track position, which I didn't because I had to wait for 3 cars to come out of the pits. And here we were at the end of lap 6, and despite the lag from grunting towards in front of us, we managed to get going again and not end up with damage. But here we were in 13th, that track position had been heavily damaged, and just to annoy people, Tixter decided to pit as soon as the safety car went in. And on the restart, there was drama forming all around us as expert behind me decided to look for the dive, but ended up backing out of it, which is probably a smart move. But then old mate grunting tortoise in front of us, who doesn't make smart decisions, ended up going for a dive, and it actually worked. With that being said, he was incredibly so we had a run on Quacker, and, well, I'm not going to risk it through the middle of Ascari. Last time I had to race Quacker, it didn't end up well, and this time doesn't either, but through my own doing. Yet another race completely screwed up by my own doing. What a frustrating season this has been. Now we're in 18th, stuck behind Nemo. However, by the time we got to lap 8, a group had formed in front of me. As Quacker ended up pitting, we got a run on Silent Rain, which in turn gave us a run at Nemo as well. We weren't going to get the move done at this corner though, so we had to settle for 15th place, but it's better than 16th. It's way better than 16th. With that being said though, coming out of the corner, we had a run at Nemo, who decided to slow down and let us through because he knew that I was a much quicker driver than him, which was fantastic. But then things just weren't going to go right for me at all today, and just like that I was back behind Nemo and in 15th place again, which this day just has not gone right for me at all. And so here we are on lap 10, about to do the same sort of thing again. This time Nemo, however, decides to actually pull over and let us through a little bit earlier on in the lap. So thank you to Nemo. We're in 13th now, and well, hopefully he can be our rear gunner for a bit. By the time we got to the next lap, however, we had Oliver Kelly in front of us for company, another guy who is new to the league and has stepped into the Williams this weekend to replace Moz Matty, who's having problems with his steering wheel, which really isn't good. Hopefully he gets it fixed by next week. However, we didn't get the chance to battle his replacement yet as he headed for the pits. This was a really crucial part of the race for me. I needed to make these mediums work, and I had about 5 laps left on them before I made the switch to a set of softs. But on lap 13, however, we had possibly the worst thing possible happen to us, as we ended up catching Headshot Gaming. Now, if you didn't watch my Belgium review last week, he ruined my qualifying, and now he's about to go and do it again. He's ruined my Italian Grand Prix by damaging my front wing, and now I'm going to have to box for repairs. There goes my chance to get some points, and also there goes my chance to get any more life out of these medium tyres. We're going to make a move up in Ascari, but he's lucky in that he's got the much better line going through the corner, so I've had to move off the racing line to avoid him. The last thing I need to do is add to the crash counter yet again. It's already happened once this weekend and we're on 15. It's really not a good look with my driving ability, with the amount of times I've been taken out by people like this guy. It's just mental. I mean, we've had one race where we've not had any sort of crashes, and it was my best of the season to date. But anyway, regardless of that, we've got to move forward and try and get something in this race. So we've pitted, and well, now we've got to put a new front wing on and put some soft tyres on, which is going to take a solid 10 seconds. And as expected, we've come out right at the back of the field in P19. How good is today? I'm so done. If deliberate crashing didn't warrant penalties, I probably would have done it by now. But anyway, here we are. We're in P19. We're stuck behind the Saubers. And, well, things are looking pretty grim from here. And so here we are on lap 16. We've got past a few cars from the pits. And, well, now we're going to try and get past Silent Rain with DRS. But he's having none of it. And now I'm not allowed any of the track, according to him. What a shame. At this point, I don't know how I've kept going. The only real thing that's driven me forward at this point is just the hope that I'm going to end some sort of good battle later on in the race. I mean, I'm quicker than all the cars around me, so all I can really do is just pray that I'll catch up to someone who can put up a good fight. And by lap 17, I was still stuck behind Silent Rain, and then, whoop, away he goes. I have no idea what happened to him, but now we've got a completely clear track, and we can make some moves, as Grunting Toys in front of us finds another wall. The only problem I really had with that though is that the fact that Expert behind me was much quicker because he had newer and better tyres. He was on the Super Softs and he'd just come out of the pits. So he made the move. I was looking to defend. At this point I just didn't care about whether I got any penalties or not, and so I just made a lunge and went for it. And it actually came off. How good. But this isn't good. He makes a move up the inside going to Ascari and he's through. There's no way I'm going to catch him, despite his obvious corner cutting. It's just a useless battle at this point, really, so I guess I just got to hope that I can get straight back past him at the end of this lap. At this point, my driving had become a lot more rash than normal, and I wasn't really fancying the idea of just waiting around for him and hoping that something happens. So I went for a dive, but in something that's probably good, I ended up not overtaking him, and so I was able to get DRS. And with tyres that were on nearly 50% wear, I had to go for it. There was no way I wanted him to hold me behind. I needed to pit again, and he was likely going to pit again as well because he was on super softs. Gives me a little clip, however, and he manages to stay ahead by diving, which is a real shame for me because I was hoping I'd be able to get ahead of him, but that's not going to happen at this point. At this point, I'm just hoping that nothing else bad happens, but then Silent Rain came. He decided that he was going to go through our inside of Ascari, regardless of what corner cutting limits are there, go for a cheeky corner cut through Ascari, and that's him into 12th place. And then, well, he decided to lag away. My car was done. I couldn't keep doing this, so I decided to pit. And, well, I didn't want to be stuck behind these two, especially if I could keep up with them. So in I went for another set of soft tyres. It was a bit of a spur of the moment decision, but it was one I had to make. And so after that, we got the opportunity to have a clear track for the first time in quite a while. Although with that being said, we had players like Quacker in front of us, Expert, Silent Rain, and quite frankly, I was praying that I was able to go fast enough to get ahead of them. Mistakes like that won't help my cause though. Yep, looks like I was right about that. That's Silent Rain coming out of the pits ahead of us. And by this point, I'm just praying that he isn't going to do anything silly as I try to overtake him. We need better results than this. This just isn't good enough. But at least we weren't going to finish 15th as we dispatched Silent Rain pretty easily going into the third corner. Thankfully, however, I did find someone to have a good battle in Oliver Kelly, who ended up pitting and coming out behind us in 14th. But he obviously wasn't in the mood to take it lying down, so he's gone through and he's made a move on us heading into Ascari. But I'm not giving anything up that easy, so I've kept the inside line, and well, he's had to give in and just allow the place. So this should be a pretty interesting battle now. We've got him right on our back, and hopefully we should be able to keep the place, because the last thing I want to do is lose even more places. However, things didn't really get interesting until lap 23, where Oliver Kelly actually managed to have a go at us going into Parabolica. Unfortunately for him, however, we seemed to do what Mozza did to us earlier on in the race and get the inside line and get the dive going. But unlike before, Oliver Kelly had much better tyres and he managed to get through. But we've got the advantage of slipstream, which should help us massively going into the first corner. Although Oliver is DRS, we still managed to get ahead of him, which proved to be a very good thing for us, as we were able to go down this outside, and despite his dive bomb, we managed to just stick it up the inside of the second corner and go through. Honest Crook, however, decided to put a spanner in the works and nearly ended up causing chaos between us. However, fast forward a lap, and now Oliver Kelly wants his place back, so he's lined us up with a pretty good move, and through he goes heading into Ascari. Obviously, he's got the inside line, so I'm going to struggle to get position, and well, he's used a bit too much of the track to get through, but I've not got the pace to keep up, so in reality, I'm going to have to pray that I can get some good slipstream off him, which I have. And so here I go, through into Parabolica, and I'm going to take 11th right back from him. But unlike me, he isn't 100% done with this, and so here he goes, making a move. I've got a bit of a tank slapper, which has not helped whatsoever, and now he's going to have a DRS run on me. Just to make things worse for me, One Slick Mofo is caught up to the back of us, and now he's going to go for the double overtake. He's too fast for both of us, but I've managed to outbrake him and keep the position. So things are looking alright, but it's going to be an absolute nightmare trying to keep him behind me. With that being said though, I haven't exactly forgot about Oliver behind us too. He's right there in the mix as well. And just like that, he's got yet another run on us into the Ascari chicane. So here we are. We've gone onto the inside now. Try and make him go around the outside for the first time. And he's just had us for chips before the corner's even there. We've cut it to avoid a collision, but then we've just completely butchered the rest of it. And so One Slick Mofo's going to get through as well. That was not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to lose 2 places in the space of a corner. What a shame. At least in Monza though, it is mad easy to keep up with people because of the slipstream you get. However, with that being said, this is going to be a complete nightmare for me. I'm going to go for the ambitious move, but it's just too risky. And with that being said, I might be able to get Oliver Kelly now anyway, because he's struggling like a mofo behind the guy quite literally called Mofo. And here we are, as he looks for a move on One Slick Mofo, we've got really good slipstream going into the chicane to start the second sector, and so you know what, let's do it. Let's put a dive on him. We've gone through, we've taken P12. It's a pretty scrappy move, but we've got it done and we've managed to keep the place. But with that being said, he's not giving up. This is a mad crazy lap, and so he's through, and so now we're going to tuck in behind him and wait for a better overtaking opportunity, probably at Parabolica. And so here we are, we've got the final chance to do an overtake. We're getting brilliant slipstream off him, so we're going to go to the inside and we're going to go for the dive bomb. We've got no other choice but to do it, and we've made ourselves look completely retarded. That summed up our day really. We've tried so hard, but we just can't succeed. Honest Crook unlaps himself, and now Nemo has found his way into 13th in front of us. Kids, that's how you go from 11th to 14th in the space of a lap. Not good. Not good at all. The only saving grace in any of this is that I've gone up in the point standings because of penalties to Expert and Grunting Tortoise at the last round in Belgium. But with that being said, the top 10 is still possible, and so we move on to the next round in Singapore with quite a lot of optimism, really. It's not my best track, but we can get a good result out of it. Anyway, it's been your man Cham, and I will see you next time.